I think there are a lot of benefits to living in the country. I mean, listen, s- just the sound of the wind and the frogs and the crickets and all the animals, it's great. However, the problem is water out in the rural areas can be a little funky. The problem is if there is a water leak, whether you're in town or out in the country, it's a big problem. When you're living in town, you maybe have neighbors that can come by and check on it for you. You live in the country, those neighbors are few and far between. Thankfully, I was approached by a company called Frizzlife to check out the LP65. It's a smart water monitor and shutoff valve. They install in your water line and let you keep track of everything. Control the flow of water, shut it off, check for leaks, alert you of a leak, automatically shut up. It does tons of things. Now I'm gonna show you what it's like to install this, what's so great about it, and why I'm using this thing. And I'm super excited that I have this on my water line now. So one of the things you get to do living in the country is read our own water meters. At least I do. So down here is the water meter pit. And when there's a water leak, the problem is that doesn't shut off. Can't control that. And that's okay. What I can control though is the water in my house and how it works, whether it's flowing or not flowing, and turn it on and off. That I can control, and that is a much easier process to do. When Frizzlife approached me about testing out this product, I was really excited. Like I said before, this is something I've been looking into and I've been interested in for a long time. Now, this is a paid promotion and a paid video. However, the opinions are my own, and I'm not going to say anything that I don't believe is true. With the LP365, it's a smart monitor and shutoff valve. So this means that it's going to track the flow of water through your water lines. Every drop that passes through this monitor, it will monitor it down to the micron level using ultrasonic sensors. So it's monitoring all the water that goes through it. It even monitors the temperature of the water. It keeps track of how much is flowing through, how much per minute, how much in a day, a month. You get to track all of that. Those are kind of the basic features. What really puts us over the edge is being able to turn off the valve manually through the app or on the device itself without having to physically turn the lever on your water line inside your house. So being able to do that remotely is great. But on top of that, it can automatically do that based on different things. So if you have a water leak and water is coming out of your water line and it's reached the threshold you set in the app, it will automatically shut the water line off. So these are some really great features, and I'm gonna kind of dig into those a little bit as we move forward. So let's go in and talk about some of the little features that really has me excited about this. As I said before, living out in the country, you're kind of limited on who can kind of help you out because neighbors are so far and few between. I had a water issue at my previous home and did not have this set up, and I got lucky that somebody happened to be driving by and was able to see the water running down our road from the water line that had busted. So I want to jump on here, and I'm going to jump in here, start screen recording here real quick, and I want to show you how nice it is. So right here, we're going to shut the water off. I'm going to tap it in the valve off in my app. So it's going to take a few seconds. And we're going to notice the water starts to slow down, and it's not going to shut off completely because there's still water and pressure in the lines throughout the entire house. What we're going to notice is right now it's starting to slow down. So the water is going to eventually shut off. And this is done by me just tapping it within the app. I don't have to go anywhere. I can do this anywhere that there's internet connection. And that's really makes this helpful. Is at any point in time, I can jump in, turn it off. And right here, we're going to turn it back on, give it a few seconds, and the water's going to come back up to pressure, and we're good to go. Just like that. It's really, really helpful. One of the primary features I like about this is being able to shut that off remotely. Maybe your kid's taking too long of a shower and you told them 100 times to get out, shut the water off. You can do it. Now it's going to shut off to the entire house. That may not be something you want. So you can see the top of my screen when we're recording that. It does say leak protection disabled. So this is because I do have a leaky faucet in my house, and I notice leaks. It's got a few drops, and when you set this up, you'll actually run it through a leak test. So I'll put a screen recording over here where I run the leak test. It's a 5-minute process. This is what it's doing. It is monitoring water usage within your home, and you have everything shut off. All your valves are shut, all your sinks, showers, everything is turned off, but the water is on to your home. So it's going to be able to capture micro amounts of water that are coming through. So whether it's a leak somewhere in your home within the walls and the floors of your piping, or it's a leaky faucet, it'll detect that. Now, if it does, it's going to automatically disable leak detection because there's already a known leak and it would end up just shutting your water off. Thankfully, you actually have the ability to adjust that. Let me start a screen recording here, and I'll show you kind of what that looks like when you set that up in the app. So in the app, when you want to adjust this, it has auto. Now, auto is what you're going to do if you have no issues. If there's no leaks in your home and no problems, you're going to do auto. But in advance, you can actually set it up and choose the mode. and it's going to explain to you how many people live in your home, the typical water usage for that size of a home. You may use less water, you may use more, but you can set it up and get it started on one of these settings. So I've got mine set to 4 because we have 4 people in the house, and it's going to automatically set up 400 gallons. However, I can adjust that manually. And the other part you get to adjust is if it's either had 400 gallons gets used up or the water flow has been running for a specific amount of time. So mine is set to, if it's been running for half an hour, shut it off. And then you can also set up that the allowable water flow is okay. It won't shut off, so it won't determine that as a leak. So I've got mine as low as I can go at 0.01. Now, my leak in my house leak dripping faucet is 0.004 to 0.008, somewhere in there across, and that's 0.008 gallons per minute. So we got a very small leak. I do need to get that fixed. However, that is kind of why we've got that situation in here. So let's go into some of the more settings here. So we have valve, so you can set it up so the valve will shut off automatically. You can set it to turn on and then shut off at a certain point in time. So perhaps you install this on an exterior line and you want to monitor that line, you want to make sure there's no leaks in it, but you also want to be able to control the water. So maybe it's for your garden or you're filling a swimming pool or something like that. Water in your yard, this gives you complete control of that. You can set up and set that timer and have it shut off that valve while still monitoring the water flow through it. Protection is another option you get. So maybe you don't want the water to shut, you're going to water your yard every morning and you don't want it to shut it off at that time because you know you're using a certain amount of water that would typically trip the valve shut off. You can actually set that up so you don't have to worry about it at all and just have it ignore during this time frame. So if you water your yard every morning from 8 to 9 a.m., it'll ignore that water usage from that timeline and then go back once that time has expired. So it's really great. You can see here also, we've got 29 gallons. That's what has been used so far today. You can go through 24 hours, 7 days a month, and monitor all of that. It also tells you the temperature of your water, which is kind of nice. So you can tell if your water lines are close to freezing. That is just something else you'll get to have there as well. So we'll turn the water on here. What we should be able to see down in the bottom is it only updates every minute, but you can see the flow rate in gallons per minute. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to update while we're in here. I'd rather not waste any water. However, that is where you would see that update in how much water is being used per minute. I'm gonna go shut that off, but that's what that would be for. So like I said, that's in the alarms. We can come into here into your settings, warranty alarm log. So the number of times it's gone off, you can go and check that if it's a frequent issue. You got operating instructions, resets. So you can have it also send you a text message. So this will send you a push alert through the app, but you can also have it send you a text message. So maybe you miss the notification from that and you get notified from text messages. Maybe you get text message notifications on your smartwatch, but not from the app. That would take care of that for you. Device information, unit switch. So these are all things you can change and switch the metrics for, whether it is in gallons or liters or whatever that may be. That is where all you get all those changes from. Let's jump into the install process. Sorry about the filming situation. This wasn't really made for recording YouTube videos when this was built forever ago. Anyways, so this is the Frizzlife. This is the actual device, the LP365. So this is what it looks like installed. So the installation process is relatively straightforward if you've done any kind of plumbing or installation. If not, do not hesitate, get a plumber and have them install this for you. I've got 3/4 inch copper piping here. This is my shut off where the line comes into the home. So this is the main water line for my house. I have it installed in here. They do provide fittings. So this is a 1 inch to 3/4 inch fitting. They do also recommend installing a bypass. So the reason you would put a bypass and it would connect from here to here and it would give you an extra shut off. So if you need to shut this off to do any work on this piece or anything else in your water line, you'd still be able to have water in your home without shutting everything off. I purchased the wrong fittings, so I don't have the bypass yet. That's still to come. So installing this isn't a difficult process. Like I said, if you've done this before, it's just get your fittings, thread this on, and once it's threaded in, you turn your water on, check for leaks, and you're good to go. With this installed, we do have controls on the device itself, and you can check out the live feed of how the water is flowing through here. Like I said, I got that dripping faucet right now. It's dripping at 0.006 gallons per minute. Yes, I need to fix that. You got settings in here, query, you can go through the different settings here and see what's going on. Here's our temperature of water. We can check the total use of gallons for the day, how much we've used across the day, the live usage. So we get all those controls within here. And then we can also control the valve directly on this device. If we need to shut it off and we couldn't access this valve to shut it off manually, we can shut off through the Frizzlife device. With that installed, it's all great. And it's been super easy to use. If you have any confusion, you can't remember what buttons do what or what the controls are, they provide you with the sticker right on top of the device here so you can see all your controls and manage it there. And they give you a backup sticker in the box. They do provide these fittings to convert it from the 1 inch, which is the device, to 3/4 inch that matched my piping. So they provide those fittings, they provide the seals, the gaskets, the Teflon tape, all of it's in the box to make the install easy for you or whoever you have do the install for you. I do also use these. So these are just water alerts, water leak alerts, flood alerts, whatever you want to call those. Those are a good idea to have as well. I've got those installed around like hot water heater right here underneath sink. So if there's a leak, it'll also sound the alarm. That was before I had this. So now having the extra help on that is way, 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 way better for my peace of mind. You go on vacations, water lines can freeze, all sorts of things can happen. And the Frizzlife LP365 is a great option to keep track of all that for you. Not only monitor your water, but also give you peace of mind and protection that if water starts to leak or you start having a problem, a busted line in your home, you're not going to be completely ruined because of it. I just finished remodeling my basement this past year. I don't want to have to redo it again. We did it because there was a water leak in the walls. I don't want to have a water leak from my water lines be the next cause for remodeling my basement. So if you're curious about this, leave a comment down below, ask questions. I'd be glad to help you out the best I can. Again, this is the Frizzlife LP365 smart water monitor and shutoff valve. Lots of videos coming up, so make sure to like and subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you don't miss the video when it drops, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks for sticking around.